Sleeping Angel, creepy when we go.
Horizon Forbidden West is practically here, and as you would hope from a game with as much build-up and expectation from this, it's a wonderful technical showcase for the PlayStation 5, as well as showing what Guerrilla Games can drag out of the aging PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro hardware. What's clear right from the off is that since 2017, Guerrilla Games has really gone in and worked to improve on the weaknesses of Horizon Zero Dawn. You can see this most noticeably in the cutscenes, where there is just so much more emotion and animation to the characters. Looking back on Horizon Zero Dawn, you would speak to people and there would be these barely moving dolls. But in Horizon Forbidden West, there's just so much more vibrancy and life to the camera angles you see, the full body animation of characters, and the facial animation that they are capable of. It feels as if as much of this as possible has been motion captured, and there's a real blurring of the lines between what is a full-blown cutscene now and just a simple conversation where you can skip from line to line if you want to read ahead and save some time. It's also here that you get to see just how detailed these characters are. Not every character has been lavished with quite the same amount of detail as Aloy, Val, Erend and the other main cast, who all obviously look fantastic, but if an NPC has got speaking lines, they're going to stand up to scrutiny. There are still some nitpicking flaws with this. Aloy's hair has got a mind of its own at times and seems to hump over the weapons on her back that are actually made invisible for cutscenes. And then there's also the eye animation, which is incredible a lot of the time, but can become a bit too exaggerated during scenes where it's trying to convey high emotion. It's like overacting, where Aloy will stare over someone's shoulder, unable to make eye contact, then look way off to the side, and then back again. It's something that I found a tad distracting at times, but this isn't really so much of a technical complaint as one of direction. Looking back to the PlayStation 4, and Guerrilla Games is obviously trying to eke everything that they can out of this system. There's a step forward to the world detail and immersive elements like foliage now reacting to Aloy when she moves through it, but it's dependent on what you're doing in-game because of a key generation defining factor, the hard drive. Pop-in is present on all of the platforms, but it's to very varying degrees, and it is practically constantly there on the PlayStation 4 in particular. It is really exacerbated when moving through the world on the back of a charger or another rideable machine. We've seen moments where things like an entire human camp or where robotic beasts simply haven't loaded in until we're basically on top of them. And if you're quickly skipping through cutscenes, then they will be playing without assets fully loaded. That's understandable given the hard drive, but something to remember when you're playing on this machine. However, the positive here is that Guerrilla has balanced that factor in such a way to pretty much nail 30 frames per second performance across the board on PlayStation 4. The base PS4 targets 1080p, while the PS4 Pro can top out at 1800p, then with checkerboarding on top of that. But in both cases, performance is rock solid, even when you're in pitch battles with half a dozen NPCs running around and multiple enemies kicking off. Now, to illustrate this, I would love to show you some frame time graphs here, but for some reason my analysis tool is disliking the capture from Horizon Forbidden West. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you that it is 30 FPS with very minor hitches at worst. PlayStation 5 though takes things to a whole other level with its two graphics modes. The default mode aims for 4K at 30 FPS and it is absolutely pristine in doing this. It really looks pin sharp and shows just what the system can do. Switching to performance mode, and there's a tangible step down in resolution to achieve that 60 FPS target as the game switches down to a target resolution on par with the PS4 Pro's 1800p. Flicking between them, it is noticeably blurrier, and while playing for capture, I actually prefer to switch back to the resolution mode when I was then playing. I do expect that I'd prefer the performance mode in the long run when I'm not constantly putting them side by side, but this is something that's going to come down to preference, and I think there's some real merit to actually sticking to the 4K and 30 FPS mode. The PS5 performance mode might be similar to the PS4 Pro in target resolution, but it goes far beyond just offering a frame rate jump on top of that. Across the board, the PS5 has allowed Guerrilla Games to push the boat out, with the SSD working in tandem with the huge leap to 16GB of RAM compared to the PS4 Pro's 8GB and a little bit of extra, and this allows for higher quality assets to be used throughout the game, increasing the world detail, pushing out the level of detail further away from you and thereby reducing the pop-in, using better lighting across the game and increasing the detail of various effects work. As with Forza Horizon 5 on Xbox last year, Horizon Forbidden West shows that developers can absolutely make a generational leap while also still providing a cross-gen gaming experience that's perfectly playable and very much enjoyable on the last generation as well. That's all that we have for this comparison between the two generations playing Horizon Forbidden West. The game is out tomorrow on the 18th of February and it's a fantastic sequel that we thoroughly enjoyed and highly recommend for any PlayStation players. Make sure to check out our review, which you can find in video form here on YouTube or as a written article over on the6thaxis.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, do the usual YouTube things before you go though, and hopefully we will see you again soon. Goodbye!